municipality of Fort Worth, nestled deep in the heart of Northeast Texas. But for one afternoon, the virtual gridiron's greatest stage, that's the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, reignites for its 17th season. In your SFL Twitch kickoff game this afternoon, pitch the Queen City Corsairs against the Fort Worth Toros. And this is only the third meeting ever between these two clubs. Queen City prevailed last season, 17 unanswered points in the second half for a 17-14 win. And they will re-rack and do it again here in week one as we see this gorgeous shot of downtown Fort Worth, together with Dallas, the 6th largest market in the United States. We are about to... My name is Josh Circle alongside Andy Hamilton. Andy, these teams had an offseason to retool, but that work is done, and now it's time for football.
Time for football once again, Josh. Glad to be here. Week one of the SFL. Does it get any better than this? Beautiful shots of downtown and two beautiful teams ready to take the field. Fort Worth last season was just a few steps away from really being a dark horse in the playoff race, and they are looking to right that wrong this season. They've made a couple clinical changes to their roster. Bringing in Aaron Alexander at fullback is a big one for them, and Queen City, on the other hand, making some small changes as well. Preparing. It's week one, Josh. Anything can happen, and we're just about ready to kick it off.
Seeds of optimism planted at the end of season 16, hoping to bear fruit here now as we are kicking off the premier game for season 17 here on SFL Twitch. We could not be more excited right now for Queen City. Andy, they've had a bit of a front office overhaul, you want to say. A lot of new faces in there for Eric Barkley's squad.
Yeah, a lot on the defensive side. DJ Majesty and BJ Lovelace really kind of lead the way along with Andre Krim. They've redone that front seven, and they're going to have a big test today as Jason Williams and Aaron Alexander are in town. And I would love to see how Queen City on the road does in this opening matchup. They have the opportunity to throw some surprises at these Toros, and we'll see how Fort Worth responds in the opening game of the season, where a lot of teams and people, Josh, have dubbed them as kind of the team to beat. We'll see what they can do.
Very sexy pick. A lot of anticipation here, and this is actually the third time these teams have faced each other in either the first or second week of the regular season. They faced off in week 2 of season 15. They kicked off against week in season 16, and we're going to do it again here. Fort Worth, wearing the dark blue, kicking off the Queen City. And I believe this will be Christopher Ochoa returning this kickoff from his own goal line. Running it up here, has a block, and he will get out to the 23-yard line. And Queen City's going to start on offense. Andy, what do you like about the Corsairs on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, for the Corsairs, you have to start at the quarterback position. A.J. Caswell, 7th all-time in completions, attempts, yards, and 8th all-time in touchdowns. He is the motor that starts this offense, and Jet Zero at halfback might just be the legs that churn it.
Out of the bunch, we go to Jet Zero on first down, and Zero stopped at the line. That was Doug Spelling, the rookie, returning the kickoff. And now here we are, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Chris Komisak leads the way for Jet Zero, not on that run, but on most runs, and that is a very interesting key to today's game, is how Komisak plays against Fort Worth.
And Spelling is at the top of your screen. Twins to the bottom. Offset eye, and that trademark nickel look for Fort Worth. Caswell will drop back. Deep drop, throw to the right side, and there is Doug Spelling. Spelling fighting for yards. Right there near the sticks. It's going to be 3rd and short. And Spelling, the rookie, we're going to see a lot of that from him, Andy. I called him the Lord of the Out Route during the SFL minor league season, but he is a complete wide receiver, but he can run that out route to perfection.
Yeah, replacing Chris Curtis in this offense as one of the top receiving threats, and it's a big shoes to fill, and he does so there. First catch for 9 yards, brings up 3rd and the yard.
2 tight ends in for this one, and that is Jet Zero going down in a heap. Below the line is Fort Worth defense looking outstanding. There's 4th and 2, and the punt team will come out of the field. We'll get our first punt of the game.
Yeah, David Harrell right up the middle, stuffs that run, keeps Jet Zero, the bruiser, from getting first down yardage on 3rd and 1. That is a huge stop for Fort Worth. Their defense was their key last season, and so far today they've come up big on this opening drive.
Greg Morrison will punt it away. It is fielded, and down he goes. That's a tremendous shot. Welcome to season 17, my friend, and we got a player down.
Oh, no, you hate to see that. That's Watkins who's still on the ground. I don't think it was Watkins who delivered that shoulder pop there on the return, but still, you hate to see players go down. We'll take a look here at what might have happened. Oh, just a little bit of a cramp. My guess is he'll be okay, although we don't want to speculate about a potential injury there. But, man, what a hit on the return. You love to see that. This is the first time, Josh, that these players are getting to wallop on an opponent as opposed to practice where you got to take it a little bit easy in training camp. So good to see the players on the field lowering the shoulders a little bit.
Cameron Curtis, the third-year sensation, steps in under center for Fort Worth. Pro set formation. Nickel look for Queen City. And they will hand off up the middle. It's Jason Williams. And Jason Williams had an outstanding season just a year ago. 258 carries, 1,200-plus yards, 12 touchdowns, top 6 in all categories, Andy.
Top 6 in all categories, and really, probably could have been a little bit higher. He had Chris Kolmasak at fullback last season, now adjusts to the rookie Aaron Alexander. There may be some time there for Alexander to catch up, but Jason Williams always a threat when the ball's in his hands.
And Williams can wave across the field and say hi to Kolmasak there. Now suiting up for Queen City on 2nd down, pass complete. I think that's incomplete. Intended for Stephen Hacker. Just a little too close to the boundary there, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and that is what is interesting about this Fort Worth team with the 2 wide receiver, 2 tight end offense. They run a quick out there with one of their top receiving threats, and just not enough room, by the sideline to have time to get his feet down.
And both those tight ends, Garrett Jr. and Percoco, in the game. Oh! And there is another stuff behind the line. We're seeing a lot of defense here. And that is an outstanding tackle by number 70. That is Dominic McWayne, the backup defensive tackle, and now Fort Worth will have to send out the punt team.
Yeah, that was huge. Williams looked like he had blockers off to the near-hand side of the field, but McWayne came through, broke it up, and Queen City gets a stop on their defensive side of the ball, which is going to force Fort Worth to give them the ball back. Offense, not necessarily the Toros' strong suit last season.
Pressure on the punt. It does get away. And Fort Worth, Spelling will field this, and the rookie manages maybe a yard or 2. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And right now, Caswell will try and put some vigor into this offense. Starting from his own 33, he'll throw on 1st down. Dump it over the middle. That is complete. A big gain. And Queen City at business here. Christopher Ochoa. Big gain to start the drive.
Man, he went to number 80, and it must be the 80s. Look at the dance moves from Caswell here on a little bit of a stutter. Look, I'll just flick that over across the middle, right into the hands of the open receiver. Ochoa, 3rd season with Queen City. He has some connection with Caswell. They have a 1st down to the 41. Huge throw against a very tough Fort Worth secondary. They need throws like that to go their way today if they want to get a win.
Only 18 receptions for Ochoa in season 16. Comes up with a big one here. Bunch to the bottom of your screen. Caswell will throw again, and that is complete. And that's a gain of 7, and I think that is Jay Hayden, if I'm reading the number correctly. No, that is number 49.
That's
as it stands, 2nd and 1.
Tight end. Yeah, and it's a beautiful out route there, beautifully scripted against a 3-3, forcing the linebacker to cover the tight end. Very tough request from the defensive coordinator of Fort Worth. Queen City benefits.
Gain of 9 for Matthew Jr. Jet Zero will get the call again, and Zero will get it over the line to gain, and that's another Queen City 1st down. And Andy, we've got a drive going here.
Yeah, and some wish-wash there because Zero on the last drive could not get a single yard when they needed it. That time he falls forward instead of backwards. Josh, that might be the battle all day to watch is David Harrell and the linebackers for Fort Worth against Jet Zero and this rushing attack.
Fresh set of downs for the Corsairs. 3 wide receivers now for Queen City. Jet Zero again. And Zero nearly finds a hole, but he's flummoxed by E.K. Vinson at the second level. And there's the update on Robert Watkins. Looks like we may see him again.
Yeah, I tell you what, that is the longest 3 yards I've ever seen. It looked more like 4 or 5 almost. Zero's going 3 yards? You got to be kidding me.
Caswell back to pass. Over the middle again. Deflected. Knocked down. That is David Horrell. Had 14 pass deflections last season. That was good for 10th in the SFL. Getting an early start here, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Harrell just reaches the arm out, gets in the way of the throw to Deezer Powell. I don't think we've called his name today. We'll check the stat sheet and just double check for you. Nope, first target of the season for Mr. Harrell. Stephen Hacker and Rochelle Colston running the stats truck for us today, but nice play by Harrell to break it up.
Big 3rd down here for Queen City. In field goal range, Caswell will dump to the right side, looking for Spelling. It's Spelling in his office at that right sideline. That is caught, but short of the sticks. And I think we'll see a field goal attempt here from the Corsairs.
I think that's the second out that's caught for Spelling. He's got 2 catches for 12 yards. First one went for 9. That one went for 3. So 2 very different out routes. Just kind of shows you the difference in terms of concept of, same route, but 2 very different types of play, and Queen City will be able to try and attempt a field goal here.
Dane Morrow was perfect, a 12 for 12 in SFLM Season 3, and he'll try his first attempt in the big leagues for 40 yards, and it is good, and Queen City's on the board.
Wow, yeah, and Dane Morrow's got to be thanking Booker Repka, the backup quarterback, for getting that thing down because man, the pressure was coming up the middle for Fort Worth. Queen City out in front. Their second drive was the best of the day so far from any team playing here in this stadium, and they take the lead. Josh, I'm a little surprised. I think Fort Worth's defense might have been caught off guard.
Queen City up 3-0. We thank you so much for joining us here on the Season 17 kickoff game here on SFL Twitch.
Look out.
Josh Zirkle, Andy Hamilton on the call. Rochelle and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck, Cameron Irvine producing. And now Fort Worth will take over here at their own 31-yard line and hopefully have a little more success than they had before they punted on their last drive.
Cade Stevens, a great return, sets up this offense. He was rumbling there, but they're going to start empty. That not something you usually see out of a team like this. They've gone all slants in the past from this formation. 3
wideouts, 2 tight ends. Curtis with a deep drop on first down. Has to avoid pressure, and then he cannot. Down he goes. I mean, if you think that jersey smells bad, wait till you taste it. I think that's McWayne again, the backup defensive tackle on the sack.
And get McWayne the player of the game trophy so far. A huge tackle for loss and a big sack on Mr. Curtis. I mean, that is the epitome of a play that can bust a drive. As they're now in 2nd and 21, they got to line up for some deep shots here, and that's not Fort Worth's style with the 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. They want to run the ball, they want to control the clock, and now in 2nd and 21, they may not be able to.
Offset eye, we may see a run here based on the personnel. Curtis on the drop. Under pressure again, and down he goes again, and this time it's Andre Krim, the newcomer from Los Angeles, coming up with his first sack of the game.
They call him the Krim Reaper for good reason. I mean, he almost just killed this drive single-handedly there. McElwain backs him up, and Krim buries him now. 3rd and 27. I think for this one, you almost just hand it off, lick your wounds, and punt it away.
Or maybe just go right to the punt. If Cameron Curtis has that skill set, he will drop back. 3rd and 27. He's going to run it. Has a little real estate, but will slide down at the 22-yard line. And Cameron Curtis knows it's better to just pack it in and fight another day. Here comes the punt unit for Fort Worth.
Yeah, this Toros team having trouble with the front 4 of Queen City. That time it was David Tilley who was chasing down Curtis from behind, almost broke free and got another sack. Curtis able to scramble forward for a few, but Fort Worth in trouble on the offensive side of the ball now. 2 drives, and I think they have more negative yards than they have positive.
The pass rush for Queen City has looked outstanding, particularly on this drive. Fort Worth will punt it away. And this is going to be great field position for Queen City. And Spelling will get this to the 43. A great start for the Corsairs, who had a field goal on their last drive. And maybe we'll do a little better here based on the field.
Yeah, they'll have to try and do better here. 1st and 10, up by 3. You don't want to take your foot off the gas, especially against a Fort Worth team that time and time again has proven that they are a challenger.
Twins to the top of your screen. Caswell will throw on 1st down, deal it to the left side. And that is caught. That is Deezer Powell, the living legend, his first catch of the game. And let's meet the rest of this Queen City offense. The quarterback is A.J. Caswell. The wide receivers are Doug Spelling, the rookie, Christopher Ochoa, and Deezer Powell, and Jay Hayden. The tight ends are Hubba Kimbrell and James Matthew Jr. The halfback is Jet Zero. The fullback, Chris Komisak. And that is your Queen City Corsairs offense. Spelling, the 27th overall pick, taken out of San Jose, a very sharp-looking San Jose flight minor league team. And now Caswell out of shotgun on 2nd and 3. Will deal, and that is caught. And that will move the chains for Queen City. It's Spelling again, this time working a little closer to the hash marks. Queen City has a 1st down.
Yeah, it's a beautiful route there. He knew where the 1st down marker was, got past it, sat down in a soft spot in the zone, and Fort Worth could do nothing but make the tackle after the catch. That is as easy as pitch and catch in the park.
And now we have all 4 wide receivers on the field. Spelling, Ochoa, Powell, and Hayden. And it's Jet Zero who gets the catch. And he's going to get maybe a yard after he's hogtied by Fort Worth. It's 2nd and 9. Bruce Lancombe with the stop, the backup cornerback. Caswell in his 10th SFL season. 7th all-time in passing yards, 8th all-time in passing touchdowns. Trying to bring his team to the promised land here, and he goes down in a heap. Huge sack by Fort Worth, and they get themselves out of a sticky situation. Queen City in a 3rd and long.
Pressure immediately from the former man who played in Queen City. Jeff Duffy almost unblocked there, right through the middle, and he puts the heat on his former quarterback, A.J. Caswell.
And that sack will actually put him 3rd all-time by himself in tackles for loss. He passed Hunter Norwood with 147 tackles for loss. And dealing again, and it's Deezer Powell with a huge catch down the left side. And Queen City in the red zone for the first time today.
Powell 2-on-1 over there with Aiden Davis, one of the best cornerbacks the league has to offer. I don't know if Davis misread that or wasn't prepared. He had some safety help across the middle. Maybe he was playing outside shoulder, but the throw on the money moves the chains for Queen City, erases the sack from Duffy, and now the Corsairs are cooking inside the red zone.
Ball spotted just inside the 20-yard line. Caswell out of the shotgun, dealing the left side again, and it's Powell on the left side, showing the rookie Spelling how to run an out route. 2nd and 8.
Corsairs have used those small out routes and middle of the field plays to break up some of the deep shots that they've taken across the middle into the outside corner. So far, playing a really beautiful game. The offensive for Queen City, they've ran the ball up the middle a couple of times, showing a lot of variance to this tough Fort Worth defense.
Jet Zero out of the offset eye. He'll get a couple yards, and that's it. A gaggle with blue jerseys greeting him just past the line of scrimmage. David Harrell among them. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's what makes it tough, Josh. As a defensive coordinator, a run right up the gut, a throw to the outside. It's hard to defend both of those at once, and the only real way to do it is giving up a deep ball somewhere. So Queen City attacking every area of the field you need.
4 wideouts on the field. Jet Zero to sidecar. Caswell dealing over the field. That is caught! And dealing for the touchdown is Jay Hayden. Oh, churning those legs. Never giving up. Then Queen City finds the end zone.
Jay Hayden right across the middle runs the arrow route. It is a perfect route from Hayden and a perfect delivery from Caswell right on the money in front of his receiver, leads him, and he churns through the tackle from the free safety. Marquise Reed is able to find his way into the end zone for 6, and Queen City extends their lead now 9-0, and the extra point on the way. Huge play for Queen City. They've come in here and shocked Fort Worth, Josh.
Jay Hayden came over from Baltimore a season ago, or played last season at Baltimore, excuse me, when he was asked on SFL Nights why he wanted to leave, and he said, I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to be the guy. Well, he's the man of the hour right now. Jay Hayden, the first touchdown here on season 17 on SFL Twitch, and Queen City's up 10-0.
Yeah, and Fort Worth, the 7-point favorite in this week 1 matchup, as you can see on the top from Jack's data, and they are finding themselves in a little bit of a hole right now. The Who You Got had 164 members of the community selecting Fort Worth. Only 46 took Queen City. We're only nearly 1/4 of the way through, Josh, but so far a little bit of a shock here from the Corsairs.
The return by Fort Worth will get to the 33-yard line. And returning that is number 15, Cade Stevens. He can do it all. He can catch balls from the quarterback. He can catch it from the opposing kicker. Multifaceted, the talents of this man. And now, Cameron Curtis, who has some talent of his own, who played as a wide receiver in season 15, had an outstanding rookie campaign, if you will, in season 16, will deal you on first down. And that is caught. And there's a first down for Fort Worth. And just in time, Cameron Curtis getting it done over the middle to Robert Garrett Jr.
Yeah, the Cowboy in a tight end flex formation is able to find some room across the middle. The first reception for any Fort Worth player. And yeah, they needed that. They needed the first down. This gives them a little momentum here on a new set of downs.
Offset eye, the handoff to Williams. Williams trying to get around the right side.
Nice wrap up.
Can't get anywhere. That is outstanding tackling by Cody Griffin, the rookie, taken 25th overall in the season 17 draft from Tacoma. And Cody Griffin getting it done in the run game.
Yeah, anytime your cornerback, Josh, can wrap up a running back like Jason Williams 2 yards down the field, that's a huge victory for the defense.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Queen City up big early. More gridiron action coming your way after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL Twitch. Welcome back to Fort Worth. Queen City up 10-0 here in the SFL Season 17 kickoff game here on Twitch. And there was Jason Williams trying to get some room to roam on the left side now. And is dragged out by Ted Haynes, making a big play there. And that's going to be 3rd and long, I believe, Andy.
Yeah, I've been surprised, Josh, at the way Jason Williams has played this first quarter and change. You know, the 16th most carries and the 18th most rushing yards all time in the SFL, and he can't seem to get more than 5 or 6 yards down the field. He's struggled so far.
Williams again, and Williams is struggling just to get back to the line. A host of others, McWayne, and a handful of defensive backs. Kappa Jones, the Reaver back, in there as well. And here comes Einhorn. Fort Worth is going to punt it away again.
And he didn't follow his block there. Aaron Alexander, the rookie, led him off to the left-hand side. And it was Williams who cut it back inside. A poor choice, and Fort Worth's drive stalls out there.
Oh, pressure on the punt. Barely getting away by Einhorn. Now it will be a fair catch by Doug Spelling, and Queen City will take over at a 20-yard line. A nice familiar place, Andy.
Yeah, and I think the conversation about this game, if it continues to go this way, will be about Queen City. And in the offseason, not many people talking about the Corsairs. They quietly made some moves on the defensive side. They brought in receivers Doug Spelling and Jay Hayden, moving to a 4 wide receiver, 2 tight end offense. But they have been getting it done so far today.
Jet Zero gets a call on first down. He'll get a couple yards, and that's about it. E.K. Vinson, among others, on the stop, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Vincent in this linebacking core for Fort Worth trying to play Jet Zero as best as they can so far. Zero up around the 10-yard mark, but struggling a little bit himself. But he is a bruiser.
Short drop by Caswell over the middle. That is caught. Matthew Jr. He catches it, takes a shot, but still hangs on to the ball. And it'll be a fresh set of downs for Queen City.
Talk about having a laser arm here. We won't get a replay, but Matthews, that throw had to be perfect. Vincent was draped across his back in coverage, and somehow the throw was on the money. Caswell today playing beautifully, around 92% completion percentage so far.
And Caswell throwing that with a series of hands in his face. A little deeper drop here on first down. That is caught as well. And a gain of about 7 or 8 there. And it looks like Jay Hayden with his 2nd catch of the game.
Yeah, Jay Hayden, most of the receivers there ran kind of button hooks, Josh, and it worked out as Hayden was able to pick up a couple yards now, and it sets him up for 2nd and 2, which is right in this offense's wheelhouse with a bruiser like Zero.
Kimbrell and Matthew Jr. both in the game here. Queen City going to 2 tight ends. Jet Zero gets the call. He has a first down and more. Breaking a tackle and breaking a skull or two. Yeah, you celebrate that run, buddy. That was impressive. Another first down for Queen City.
For a bruiser like Zero, you absolutely celebrate a run like this. I mean, it's right up the gut. He goes right through a defender, and I tell you what, we talked about it before the game a little bit, Josh. Week 1, anything can happen. You don't have a lot of film on these teams, especially the teams that change a lot of their personnel like Queen City did. But Fort Worth has come out, and they have looked surprised with what the Corsairs have thrown at them.
Marquise Reed, the recipient of that shoulder from Jet Zero. And another big catch by Queen City. Out down the left sideline, and it's Jay Hayden again. An outstanding leaping grab for a Queen City first down.
Well, you leave Baltimore, you say you want to be the man. How about being the man here? Triple coverage. Go up and moss them all. Forget it. Aiden who? Big play from Hayden, not Aiden. And what a move there for Queen City. Caswell is playing unreal. This Corsairs team looks like a threat for the whole thing.
How about Kimbrell, the right tight end? Caswell with a short drop dealing to the left side this time. And that is caught. And that is Deezer Powell, his 4th catch of the game. And everybody's getting involved. Caswell doing a nice job of distributing the ball to this army of wide receivers and tight ends that he has to throw to.
On the contrast there, you go deep and then you immediately follow it up with a short play to the outside. It's giving this Fort Worth team fits as they really just don't know what area of the field they're supposed to be covering at any given time because, Josh, there's so many areas that Queen City's willing to attack.
And you can see the cushion that the Fort Worth DBs are giving those Queen City wide receivers. It comes into play there. That's Matthew Jr. with a catch, a first down and more. Getting out of bounds. The clock will stop with 7:12 left in the first half.
Yeah, if our tally is correct, that is the 18th completion for A.J. Caswell. You look across the field, Cameron Curtis is 1 for 2 on the day. Such a contrast in how these two offenses are running, and Caswell is looking unreal. It looks like he's had a great offseason. 18
of 19 so far, making 19 of 20. Just a little drop over the middle of the defense, and it's Deezer Powell again. A tiny little slant route, and now it's 1st and goal for Queen City.
When he got tattooed, if you watched Caswell there, he got wrecked in the backfield, was still able to deliver to one of his longer-standing receivers, Powell, and it sets them up here at the 9, knocking on the door of extending this lead yet again.
Caswell, short drop, across, looking for
Oh,
spelling, and it's intercepted!
Look out.
And Delaney Nash, the third-year strong safety, finds a gift in the end zone and takes points off the board. And Fort Worth have reason to be very excited at the end of this drive.
He overthrew the receiver, a diving attempt, but Delaney Nash was just waiting for it, and that's the one thing about the red zone that puts your quarterback under pressure is there's not as much room down the field that the defense is trying to cover, right? They have the back of the end zone as another boundary to play with. Nash jumps in front of it and saves potentially the game for Fort Worth. 3 scores could have got out of hand. They keep it at 2.
Caswell, 19 of his first 20, and then throws the interception in the end zone. Meanwhile, Curtis completes that pass to Robert Garrett Jr., and Garrett Jr.'s got himself some quality yardage there in the first play of the drive.
Yeah, and if you are Fort Worth, you take that and you run with it, right? There's only one way to go from here, and that is up. And if you're the offense, you got to say, hey, we got to match that big play from Delaney Nash with a big play of our own. They get Robert Garrett Jr. involved, and they're all the way out here to the 18.
Queen City in the nickel set. Here comes Williams again, and Williams just cannot get it out of first gear. And it's David Tilley this time, the defensive tackle. And Williams slow to get up and finally does get to his feet. 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing with this Fort Worth team, right? With 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, their focus is running the ball, and that is where their offense in the past has leaned towards running the ball. But if you can shut that down, you force them into being uncomfortable.
Offset eye. Williams again. Williams dragging a pair of defenders past the line to gain. B.J. Lovelace among them. And Fort Worth has the hardest working first down we've seen in the SFL so far this season.
And Lovelace coming over in the offseason and a big play there, and we haven't called his name much, but a huge addition for this defensive unit for Queen City, who's got off the field when they needed to today. Lovelace will have to keep making plays like that.
Absolutely. The power eye this time for Fort Worth. Short drop from Curtis. Dealing to the left side. That is complete. And what a shot there. That's Alexander. Aaron Alexander, the rookie fullback. 5 receptions in the minor leagues, Andy, but not a single carry. He gets his first catch of the big leagues right there.
They're trying to get him involved. They're trying to get Jason Williams to trust him and run behind him. This could be an opportunity here.
2nd and 5. Williams again. And again, nowhere to go. Jared Crow, the 3rd-year outside linebacker, making Jason Williams eat a little crow on that play. And it's another 3rd down for the Toros.
And right after Alexander makes a big catch, he misses a block there on Crow, which sets up 3rd and 6. And you could just see, Williams kind of getting up and going, well, that's kind of why I don't run behind you every time. Still some learning to do for the rookie.
Williams and Alexander in the backfield. Deep drop for Curtis, throwing over the middle. Nearly intercepted. Deflected there by Lovelace. 72 career pass deflections coming into this game. Make it 73. And here comes the punt team for Fort Worth.
It was Aaron Alexander who had ran up the field on a little bit of a go route, which Curtis tried to pick out there. And that's some of your struggle with only having 2 receiving threats, 2 tight ends, is you're picking and choosing which stars to throw at, throwing at the fullback there, and Lovelace almost made him pay for it. He's been known to deflect a lot of passes, and that'll end Fort Worth's drive again. And Josh, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised, coming out of the gate, Fort Worth, a lot of talk in the offseason about being the team to beat, and today Queen City is showing them that, hey, that's all talk now. When the season starts and the ball kicks off, you got to prove it.
Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player to join our community, the league and the teams in it that play, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. Over 1,500 games and thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. And here comes Caswell dealing again to Spelling, and the rookie's got himself a nice gain right up to the sticks, 2nd and inches.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautifully designed play. We've seen it a couple times where one of the wide receivers just leaks out there on the late out route, and Caswell delivers another beautiful pass outside into plenty of space and lets the receiver get some yards after catch.
Jet zero up the middle on short yardage. And a successful conversion there. Clock continues to run with 3:10 to play in the half. Andy, do you start hurrying it up here at this point?
No, if you're Queen City, there's only so much room between here and the end zone, right? You do have a star kicker, so you don't want to try and pressure anything here. You just turned it over in the red zone. Take your time, work your way down the field. You do have the 2-minute warning, and you'll be just fine.
Offset eye. Caswell, short drop, dealing to the right side. That is Spelling again. It's Spelling, almost a mirror image of the play we saw just a moment ago. That's another gain of 8 yards, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Spelling has today. He's been really good at just making the catch, getting what he needs to. Almost reminds me a little bit of a Scotty Miller for Tampa Bay from last season. Just with the way that he is able to kind of find the space that he needs to, right? He's not doing too much. He's not trying to be, the best player on the field. He's just trying to play his role. And in a league like this, that's so important.
Fort Worth's going to jump off sides. Jet zero. Very close to the first down. Well, we'll see what the call is on the penalty. But Queen City is going to benefit with whatever they decide to do here.
Neutral zone infraction, number 53, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The Fort Worth defense feeling the pressure. They know they've got to make a play. They know Queen City's driving down the field. And they do not want to go into the locker room trailing by 3 scores. And they got to get a stop. But you got to do it within the rules. Caswell brings his troops to the line again. 32 yards to the promised land. Fort Worth in the nickel look. Jet zero up the middle. And zero's going to get to the second level. And maybe to the 25-yard line. You see the stat line there, 28 yards. And that will get us to the 2-minute warning. More gridiron action coming your way. Queen City up on top. It's the Simulation Football League on SFL Twitch. Welcome back to Fort Worth. Queen City and the Toros going at it. Queen City up 10-0, looking for more here as we close out the second half, or are about to. Josh Circle, Andy Hamilton on the call. And Jet zero will get stopped just short of the line to gain. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
And I think the running is catching Fort Worth a little bit off guard. However, I think it's really beautifully scripted there, Josh, from Queen City. They're trying to take the clock as low as they can, and now they're set up for 3rd and 1, which is Zero's specialty, right? He's a short yardage back. He's not going to break off the big run. He's going to get you what you need, though. We'll see if they go to him.
Clock continues to run with 1:30 remaining. They do go to zero, and he's going to shoulder a defender and get inside the 10-yard line. They're actually going to spot him at the 11. Clock continues to run with 1:20 remaining.
Plenty of time. He must have heard me say that he wasn't a big run halfback because he broke off a big one there all the way down to the 11. Jet zero clamoring for yards, and it's forcing Fort Worth into some trouble.
Caswell, short drop, deflected, nearly intercepted. That is David Harrell with another pass deflection, and he knows he should have had that one.
Got to be super careful there if you're Caswell. You made a mistake down on this end of the field last time. You don't want to make another one. You had another tight end sitting there wide open to make maybe a 7-8 yard grab I believe it was Hubba Kimbrell who was waiting for it, and you went to the other one. Luckily, you lived to see another day.
That stops the clock with 1:05 remaining. Caswell On 2nd and 10. Will deal out of the shotgun. Jet zero. Either lined up at the wide receiver or not in the game. A low snap. Caswell handles it. Dealing to the corner of the end zone. And it is intercepted again. The second end zone interception. And Aiden Davis comes up with the ball.
One-on-one, he is the guy that you would want as a Fort Worth Toro to play that deep post or corner route one-on-one. The end zone, the back of it being another boundary there, and Caswell has teased Aiden Davis all day with perfect throws. Davis gets the better of Caswell there and keeps the Toros alive in this game. We keep saying it, 3 scores might have been uncomebackable. 2 is still alive.
And Curtis is going to take the sack there. The 22nd career interception for Aiden Davis. Well, let's give credit there to David Tilley coming up with that sack. He had 10.5 last season, 18 TFLs in total. Both of those led the team, and both of those were 9th best in the entire league in season 16. Now Curtis in the shotgun. Williams and Alexander alongside him. And he will throw here, and down he goes! Another brutal sack from the hands of the Queen City defense. And David Tilley says konnichiwa for the 2nd straight play, 3rd and 18.
And 2 in a row for David Tilley. I mean, that's huge. You rarely see that in one game where a guy can get 2 sacks, much less back-to-back plays.
We talked a lot about the newcomers, DJ Majesty and Andre Krim. And Tilley having a good time with his new teammates. Williams will actually spring loose a little bit here, but he is still well short of the marker. And Fort Worth will probably run a little time off before they punt this one away.
I believe that's the half right there.
Well, that is the half. Good job running the time off, fellas. And so with half this game in the books, Queen City, who remember prevailed against Fort Worth in week 1 of season 16, doing their best to make the second verse the same as the first here in season 17. Andy Hamilton, your thoughts on the first half?
Really, it was Queen City's game. They came out of the gate firing 200 yards of offense in the first half, 10 points, and it should have been more. Luckily for Fort Worth, their defense comes up with 2 big turnovers. Otherwise, we could be looking at a 24-0 game or even a 17-0 game here. This Toros offense has struggled. Only 26 yards there for Cameron Curtis through the first 2 quarters of play. They're going to have to get that offense moving, Josh. They only have 10 points to overcome, but Queen City's defense has also played lights out. Some sacks from David Tilley, nice defense, specifically out of the cornerbacks. Ted Haynes and Cody Griffin have been playing really nicely today in the run game, and for Fort Worth, only 1 receiver has made catches. Robert Garrett Jr. with 2 grabs. They've only thrown the ball 5 times. They might want to try a little bit of an aerial attack, try and get Hacker and Cade Stevens involved, because so far today, this Queen City team has come on the road, and they've proven that they were the team through 2 quarters that was ready to win this football game. Fort Worth, after a talk and maybe some halftime adjustments, has to prove that they can take this one back from Queen City.
In the first half, Queen City and their defensive front were the stars of the show. What could Fort Worth do to answer here in the second half? As Morrow will kick this away, and Stevens will lower the shoulder and then gets lowered himself down to the 24-yard line. And here comes, once again, Cameron Curtis and the Fort Worth offense. Jason Williams not getting out of first gear, Andy, I think has been a big surprise in this game so far.
Yeah, hovering right around 2 yards per carry. They need to get him going. He needs to start moving, or they need to get the throwing offense going.
Curtis on first down, steps up, throws into traffic, deflected, and then falls harmlessly to the turf. Cody Griffin getting credit for that pass deflection there, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Cody's playing lights out today. Some big tackles, big deflection there. Talk about rookies making an impact. Cody Griffin may be making one of the bigger impacts for this Queen City defense, and it forces 2nd and 10. But I like what Fort Worth's doing there. Pick some plays that we haven't called before. Let's try something new here in the second half.
And the heavy set now for Fort Worth. We did not see this in the first half. Williams in the back, gets a couple blockers, but the same result mashed down at the line of scrimmage. And look who it is, David Tilley. 3 TFLs now on the game. And that's actually going to be a tackle for no gain, 3rd and 10.
Really tough there for Fort Worth. You had everyone blocked except for Tilley, and Tilley was the one who made the tackle. He brought down Jason Williams from behind. You have to like your running back one-on-one with a defensive lineman.
Curtis, time to throw, over the middle. Deflected and falls to the turf again. And Jared Crow that time. And Crow is fired up. This Queen City team on both sides of the ball. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. And here comes the punt team again for Fort Worth.
And I'd be fired up too. I mean, you're holding one of a playoff team from last season, you know, really down here in the first 2 quarters of play. You come out on the opening drive of the second half and you don't falter. Your defense still holds. I mean, I'm fired up for them. I mean, this is a beautiful defensive showcase for Queen City.
The SFL invades Houston August 6th through 8th to induct the 2021 Hall of Fame class, showcase live and in-person Week 3 action, and to connect with the SFL community all around the world. Look out for live camera feeds from the event on our Twitch channel all weekend long at twitch.tv/SimulationFL. And now from their own 41-yard line, Queen City starts again with very nice field position. Both tight ends in the game. Jet Zero gets the call. And Jet Zero is going to take a shot there. 2nd and 8. That was E.K. Vincent. Once again, he's had a nice game so far.
Joey Schwint in there as well from the defensive line position. This Fort Worth team, you know, the defense has been the strength last season. The defense has made 2 big turnovers today, and the offense calling upon them again for another stop.
Caswell back to pass. Caswell goes down. And the pressure from Fort Worth starting to get home here. And there's a big old flex from number 99, Gary Marks. Never too late to say goodbye.
Well, X marks the spot, and Caswell must have had an X on his back there. Marks right through the defense, and he is able to swim around that tackle and make the play. If it wasn't him, Josh, it was going to be someone else in blue and gold. 3rd and 12 for Queen City. Now Fort Worth has to get off the field.
3.5 sacks from Marks last year. His first one of the season here. Caswell, load snap, but handles it. Throwing to the corner, and that is caught. That is Christopher Ochoa. And that's still going to be short of the marker. Nice gain by Ochoa, but it's 4th and 3.
Well, a nice throw from Caswell. He gave his receiver a chance on the outside. Fort Worth playing, you know, a little bit of soft coverage, but knowing where that line to gain was and not allowing them to go past it, but make the catch underneath, push him out of bounds, make the tackle. It's a good defensive philosophy there from Fort Worth, and they're going to get the ball back from Queen City.
Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys. Oh, we got a break! Cade Stevens going to take this all the way to the hizzy, and Fort Worth is on the board.
Oh, man. Talk about getting some Sector 6 jerseys. Get me a 15 in blue and gold. Cade Stevens right up the middle to electrify this Fort Worth team. Your defense makes a play. Your offense is having trouble, but your special teams is on point. He's inbounds the whole way down the sideline. A huge play for Fort Worth, and Josh, it rips this game wide open.
A full convoy for Cade Stevens. Taking that all the way to the house, 73 yards for Fort Worth's first score and first touchdown of the game. And suddenly, Queen City had this thing, looked like they had this locked down almost. Fort Worth right back in it.
When he says to Cam Curtis, hey, you don't want to throw me the ball, forget it. I'll just make the most of my special teams opportunities. He's touched the ball a handful of times today in kickoffs and punts, hasn't been thrown to once. And he says, you know what, I'll just take this one to the house then. I'll show that I am a playmaker for Fort Worth, and they are back in this thing right away.
10-7. We got ourselves a 3-point game here on the SFL Twitch channel at Queen City, who has looked so good moving the ball, especially through the air, is now going to find a way to score that knockout blow. Doug Spelling from his own end zone. And we'll get this up to the 22. And Queen City, who's been good so far, they need to be a little bit better here to close this thing out.
Well, it's right. It's right back to where you were, at the start of the game. If you're Queen City, a 3-point lead, is a lead, but it's not much, especially here early in the third. You really have to put the foot back down to the pedal. You can't make any mistakes. Here's an opportunity: gun straight versus bump coverage.
Caswell back to pass. Dodges pressure. He cannot dodge all of it. And Caswell goes down in a heap. It's Joey Schwint with the swing. And a big sack there right when his team needs it. 2nd and long.
This Fort Worth team is using that Cade Stevens return as kind of their rallying point, and, really could be a rallying point for their season if they're able to get going here. And Caswell was under pressure there. Now off coverage versus gun straight.
Caswell on the shotgun. Pressure coming again. Caswell uncorks it. And that is nearly intercepted. Ochoa, the intended receiver, and it'll be 3rd and 18.
Adam Leach over there in coverage almost leached that one away from the offense. Now 3rd and 18. If you're Queen City, there is more to this game than this drive. You don't want to make a mistake here that puts Fort Worth in front or back in the driver's seat. You want to play field position. A 5 to 10 yard catch is fine here.
And all 4 wide receivers out for the 3rd straight play. Caswell, this time will throw it to Jet Zero. Has a little room, but needs to make a tackle or miss, and he cannot. And that is outstanding open field coverage by the Fort Worth secondary. And it's going to be 4th and very, very long.
And it's the Toros' turn to get hyped up. Their defense is making plays. Cade Stevens back out on the field here. You can try and get this offense going. If you're Fort Worth, this is the change in the game that you wanted. The home crowd here is finally feeling the momentum. You can feel the change, Josh, in the air.
I could feel it right now, and I am not going to do a read during this punt because I am feeling change in the air on that front as well. But Fort Worth is going to get this out into plus territory. And Stevens, after taking one to the house on that last return, puts his team in a place to succeed here. They're going to start this drive from the Queen City 47, 1st and 10. Curtis working out of the power eye. Will hand off to Williams. And Williams finally able to turn upfield, but doesn't get much more than that. Jared Crow in on the stop. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's so tough for Jason Williams. I mean, you break out of one, you feel like, all right, here we go. I can finally get rumbling upfield, and bam, there's another bright green and white jersey in front of you, and down you go again. It's been a really tough day of sledding for Jason Williams. One run can change that, but so far, really tough.
Tough for the Fort Worth offense as a whole. Curtis, 3 of 7 on the day. We'll throw another one here. Diving catch! And did he come up with that?
Oh.
Looks like he did not. That is Cody Griffin saying, no, sir. Outstanding defense against a diving receiver there.
Look at this beautiful angle. That takes the air out of your gut. I mean, wow. What a pop. Cody Griffin says, hey, I'm coming from the minor league. Things are different here in the SFL, and I'm going to ramp up the intensity that I bring to this defensive unit for Queen City. Griffin may be the most surprising player on either side of the ball for Queen City today.
He has looked great so far. Curtis will throw it on 3rd down. There's a big catch. Robert Garrett Jr. coming up big at just the right time. And Fort Worth has a 1st down.
And they needed that out of the tight end. He's the only receiving threat with a catch today for Fort Worth, and he makes a big one here to get into Queen City territory. Beautiful ball on the back shoulder by Cam Curtis. They needed that, and it's going to put them down to the 27. New set of downs, and you can try and get the running back involved again here as well.
Fort Worth with a chance to take the lead on this drive. Curtis dropping back again, throwing over the middle, and deflected and nearly intercepted, intended for Stephen Hacker, who we have not heard from a lot of in this game. 3 targets, but has not come up with a single catch. And Maurice Lloyd made sure he didn't catch it there on that play. Came over for Denver last year.
Yeah, came over from the champions, ring still on his finger, confetti still in his hair. He drove down on that route, and I thought it was picked. Luckily for Fort Worth, they're still alive here on 2nd and 10.
Curtis, short drop. Over the middle again, testing that middle and winning the test that time. And Stephen Hacker has his first catch of the game and gets his team to a 1st and goal.
Welcome to the ball game, the former Queen City Corsair, Stephen Hacker. Welcome to season 17, young fella. Makes the grab across the middle. Maurice Lloyd brings him down. It's right in front and right on the cornerback Ted Haynes there, who's also had a pretty good game. And Hacker trying to will this team in Fort Worth into the end zone. They're just about 10 yards away.
Curtis throwing into a super tight window there to find Hacker. And we'll dump this one off to Williams. And Williams scrambling toward the pylon. Look who it is, Andy. It's Cody Griffin coming up with another big tackle.
And speaking of Sector 6 jerseys, get me a 28 in bright green and black. This Cody Griffin fella, I mean, I tell you what, he is really making his conversation for, I mean, we're only 2 games in, Josh, but if I had to pick between these 2 games for a Rookie of the Year, it's Cody Griffin.
He has looked outstanding so far. Williams, nowhere to go. David Tilley, getting back up in your face. Bringing Williams down to the ground, and it's 3rd and goal.
Tilly, 9th best in the SFL last season in tackles for loss. He had 18, and he is catching up to that number already this season. He's at 2 sacks today and a couple of tackles for loss in addition. I mean, really just picking up where he left off from last year. Tilly is a name to be worried about.
3rd and goal now. Fort Worth scrambling for answers. And a run-heavy set here in the offset eye. But Curtis will drop back to throw. Under pressure, he's got nowhere to go. And down he goes again. And I think that is Dominic McWayne, the backup defensive tackle, coming up with a big sack there for Queen City.
McWayne, Tilly, Andre Krim, and then the only name we haven't really called a ton, Josh, is DJ Majesty, who has a lot of power in his name as well. This front 4 for Queen City is revamped and ready to roll. They are coming up big when they need it, and they're forcing Fort Worth into a game-tying field goal attempt.
The carb-friendly Taco Sicario will put this in the air, and that is good from 34 yards. Sicario nearly perfect last season. He's 1-1 on the year so far, and we are knotted at 10 apiece.
It's been a minute since we've called it, Josh, but I think we need a taco.
Taco. We'll try and harmonize.
There you go.
Let's try and harmonize. Do it again. Taco.
Taco. Oh, someone clip that. I mean, that's as good as it gets right there.
Pure magic. 9 plays, 33 yards on that Fort Worth drive, resulting in the Taco Sicario field goal. And we got a brand new ball game here, Andy, 10-10.
Beautiful. Yeah, both teams have clambered back into it. And look out.
Oh, Doug Spelling. Spelling with a nice return there. Getting out to the 32-yard line, dusting himself off. And get ready to work here on offense. Doug Spelling, talking a lot about Cody Griffin. Doug Spelling had a nice presence as well. 5 targets, 5 catches, 33 yards. He's not blowing the barn doors off of anything, but outstanding debut game for the rookie wide receiver.
Credit to the front office for Queen City, 2 for 2.
Caswell deflected. That will fall to the turf. 2nd and 10. Is that James Matthew Jr., the intended receiver?
Man, that'll put your sweat on if you are AJ Caswell, seeing that ball tipped up in the air there, falls to the turf. Matthews almost had 2 chances at it. It's incomplete, and Queen City sees 2nd down.
My heart goes a flutter every time I see that ball hang in the air. It's taking years off my life. 2nd and 10 now. Bunch formation to the top of your screen. Caswell dealing to the left side. That is caught, and that is Jay Hayden, who's also had a workmanlike performance so far. That's his 4th catch of the afternoon. Is it evening or afternoon?
Afternoon. These Corsairs receivers, they're not making the big plays, right? And that's not a knock on them, right? They're not being asked to go 40 yards downfield to make a huge catch. They go 7, 8, and they make the grabs, and it's the grabs that Queen City needs for this offense, right? 3rd and 4, right in the wheelhouse you can either ask Jet Zero, you can get one of the tight ends out in the open space. This is the offense for Queen City, and it's working today.
Caswell, short drop, dealing to the right side.
Oh!
And Ochoa makes the catch. Fort Worth tried to jump the route. It didn't quite work. And that is a nice gain there for the Corsairs. Another first down.
Man, A.J. Caswell working some magic there. Call him the magic man because that deflection, I almost had it written down on paper already as happening, and I had to cross it out because it was a first down catch. Beautiful throw, beautiful conversion for a new set of downs.
Only 6 in the box for Fort Worth here. Caswell will throw again. Going over the middle this time, and it's caught! Deezer Powell is going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Queen City.
Oh, man, Deezer Powell, you might as well call him the Sandman. The Corsairs lure this Fort Worth team to sleep and then pop right over the middle. I don't know why Delaney Nash didn't just tackle him there. Little bit of a second guessing himself, and he tries to run him down afterwards, but Powell is loose. He's into the end zone, and Queen City right back on top. We got a shootout on our hands, Josh.
Deezer Powell, who had 69 career touchdowns coming into this game, notches number 70 for his career and putting Queen City up to boot. And now Dane Morrow will add the extra point here to make this a 7-point game. Kick is up and it's good. And Andy, this is what we needed to see Queen City do. You're moving the ball down the field. You got to come away with points. You got to be able to close out the opposition. They've done one of those things so far.
Well, and in the face of adversity, a 10-0 run for Fort Worth here in the third, and Queen City able to answer back with 7 of their own to retake the lead. They needed that. Their last 2 drives or couple drives, they had 2 turnovers, Josh. So to answer with points on the board, that's big for Queen City's momentum right here.
From Stephen Hacker in the stats truck, Queen City's drive, 4 plays, 64 yards, resulting in that big 48-yard passing touchdown to Deezer Powell. And now Fort Worth will try to answer as Cameron Curtis steps back on the field. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the SFL got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 players of the week, people behind player segments, and all the major milestones in league history. And here's a milestone coming up here. Jason Williams getting loose on the right side for a big first down for Fort Worth.
Oh, the little stop and go here. Come on, give us a replay, guys in the truck. There it is. What a move from Jason Williams. You're going to watch it here, Josh. Right here. He gets behind Kosak. Stop. Give the rookie a chance to make the block. What a play from the veteran. You got to love that. He says, hey, Aaron, make an impact for me real quick right on this defender, and it gives an extra 6 to 7 yards. Beautiful play. 34 yards, says Rochelle Colston. Huge from Williams.
I think I tore ligaments in my ankle just watching that highlight again.
Oh!
Here's Alexander on the fullback run, and he will get a yard or 2. I believe that is his first career carry in the majors or minors. Remember, he did not have a carry in Lexington.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. Welcome to the show, Aaron Alexander. And that will bring up 2nd and 8. About 55 tight ends in this formation. Cameron Curtis out of the shotgun, dealing over the middle. And that is somehow caught by Robert Garrett Jr. How did that ball get in there? First down, Fort Worth.
Oh, we're going to have to check Robert Garrett Jr. He must have magnets in his gloves because that one is, look at this, right to him. No one else can have a chance at it. Check that football. So someone down there on the field's got to look at that thing.
Right in the face of Jared Crow. So disrespectful to the passing game. And now Fort Worth, desperate to answer that previous score from Deezer Powell and Queen City, marching down the field here. They're in plus territory. Curtis with the drop. Dealing to the left side, and that goes nowhere. Jason Williams just did not have the real estate to get free. Andre Krim, among others, on the stop there for Queen City.
Krim Reaper coming over from Los Angeles, making some big plays in this game. And, so far for Queen City, this has kind of been when they buckle down, right? They're on their side of the field here, 2nd and long. They've forced some sacks out of situations like this.
Curtis dealing to go to the middle of the field. That is deflected by number 43. And that is, who is that?
Lloyd.
That is Marquise Lloyd. Maurice Lloyd, excuse me. 88 tackles last season with the Nighthawks. 3 interceptions during that title run. And now third.
Nightwings.
Night
Sorry,
Wings.
Josh, go ahead.
No, please. Please correct me. Curtis on 3rd and 14. Has time to throw. Dealing big down the side, and he's caught. Outstanding catch by Cade Stevens. It's going to bring up 1st and goal for Fort Worth.
And working over there on Cody Griffin, and if there was one play that Cody Griffin could have made to cement himself in rookie lore, it was this double move here. If he would have knocked it down, he went for the pick instead, and you can't do that with a veteran like Cade Stevens. He's able to jump in front, and he moves Fort Worth down to the 4-yard line here with a chance to tie. This is big.
As you said, Griffin knew exactly where that ball was going, just could not make the play on it. And now 1st and goal for the Toros. Williams trying to get to the left side and cannot get loose. And that has been the story of this game for my money. Jason Williams, you see the numbers there. Very, very pedestrian numbers, certainly by his standards. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and that's the key, Josh, here is they're in 2nd and goal. How many times do they trust Williams with the ball before they falter and have to kick a field goal, right? They need to throw the ball at least once here at the goal line, in my opinion.
Absolutely agree. And it looks like they will throw here on 2nd down. Going over to the top of the end zone, deflected, and the ball will fall out of the back of the end zone. It looked like they were intended for Aaron Alexander there. I don't think anybody saw that coming. 3rd and goal.
Ted Haynes might have wrapped his hands around that. I didn't get a good look. He was out of bounds, so it doesn't matter. But you know, if you're the quarterback, you never want to see the ball in a defender's hands, no matter where on the field they are.
Fans of these teams will remember that Ted Haynes came up with the game-sealing interception against Fort Worth at season 16 in their tilt last year. Curtis on 3rd down, going to the end zone, touchdown! Fort Worth ties it up.
Well, they call him Dad, and he made a dad play there, put on the white Nikes because Robert Garrett Jr., a little bit of an inside route here. Wow, able to run away from the defender there. King Jamal not able to stay in front of the Cowboy, and he rides that football all the way in. Fort Worth with a chance to tie with this Taco Sicario extra point.
From Stephen Hacker, 9 plays, 75 yards. For the Toros, resulting in that 4-yard pass touchdown to Robert Garrett Jr. Time has expired in the 3rd quarter, but we're going to kick this before we go anywhere. And Taco makes his contribution felt once again, and we are knotted at 17. What a game this has turned out to be here on SFL kickoff weekend here on SFL Twitch. The exciting conclusion coming your way. Do not step away. Don't touch that dial screen or keyboard. We're coming right back after this short break. It's the SFL on SFL Twitch. Welcome back to Fort Worth Simulation Football League kickoff weekend for season 17. Josh Zirkle, Andy Hamilton, Stephen Hacker, Michelle Colston in the truck, Cameron Irvine producing. The Queen City Corsairs and Fort Worth Toros have been dueling. And we've got a 17-17 tie here with 1 quarter left to play. And Doug Spelling is going to get his team out to the 24-yard line. And they are going to start this drive. And A.J. Caswell, Andy, has looked outstanding so far, 26 of 34, verging on the cusp of 300 yards.
You take away the 2 picks, he's been impeccable.
Jet Zero will get the call on 1st down. Has nowhere to go. An outstanding defensive stop there by E.K. Vincent. Tremendous play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he got to the hole. He did a little stutter step there. He saw E.K. Vincent staring him down one-on-one. He went, oh, Lord. And he tried to maneuver himself outside. It was the wrong move. Vincent, like a bull in a china shop, pun intended, runs him down there right at the line of scrimmage.
0, the lone setback. The watch as Caswell tries to throw, but has nowhere to go. A big sack for Fort Worth there. We've seen a lot of pressure for Queen City, and now Fort Worth gets in on it. Then it's Joey Schwitt with another swing, and a big sack for Fort Worth, 3rd and long.
Works outside of the guard there, has no help as they brought some blitzers there off that outside, and Fort Worth potentially the drive of the game here. Need to get off the field, 3rd and long for Queen City.
All 4 wideouts out for the Corsairs. Caswell hit as he throws, and it's deflected just short, looking for Deezer Powell, who had the defense beat, but he could not get the ball there.
Yeah, and it took the outstretched arms of the defender. I'm not sure who was back there. It might have been Marquise Reed who rose to the challenge, but it took all of the effort for that defender to make the pass deflection, Powell was behind the defense. He had the length, and Caswell hit as he threw, could not get everything on that football he wanted to. Queen City has to punt. Fort Worth with a chance to take their first lead of the game, getting the ball back for their offense.
Pressure coming on the punt. Queen City does get it away. Ooh. And that was a very close call. And Fort Worth will start just on their side of the field as Cade Stevens gets this to the 48 for Fort Worth. The SFL is proud to welcome back APM Music as a presenting sponsor. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library, visit apmmusic.com. And here comes Williams. Williams, he's going to make it. Touchdown. Fort Worth takes the lead for the first time today.
Oh boy, what a way for these two teams to get back into it here. Fort Worth gets a defensive stop to start the 4th. They get the ball back for their offense, and Williams through 1, through 2. Aaron Alexander seals it on the outside. Williams through another one, and down the sideline, able to use the churning legs to get to the pylon before the defender can bring him down. Textbook from Williams. He has not had a day that you're going to write home about and tell your grandma, but that was sure a run that you're going to want to tell the whole family about, especially if Fort Worth can hold on to this now lead.
A family-friendly 48-yard run on a one-play drive per Stephen Hacker. And for the first time today, in their own building, the Toros have taken the lead in this game with 9:35 to play in the 4th quarter. Taco Sicario is good on the extra point. And Fort Worth has a 7-point lead with just over 9.5 to play.
They call him Thrilliams. I think they might have to rename him to Dollar Billiams because he was money on that play.
I can't follow that. That's outstanding. 9:35 to play. And Doug Spelling is going to take this from his own goal line once again. And he'll get out to the 21-yard line. Very serviceable day for Spelling on the return game. But he's been no Cade Stevens this afternoon, I can tell you that.
No, I mean, none of us have been Cade Stevens today. I don't think anyone saw it coming either. That's the biggest thing for Stevens, but it really sparked the Fort Worth return. That'll be the play that the Toros will be talking about in their locker room later.
Caswell out of the power eye. Will hand off to Jet Zero. Zero nearly got a block, but E.K. Vincent, who's had Jet Zero's number most of the day, if not all day, corrals him after a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and this is where Queen City needs to utilize the 6 receivers that they have, including the 2 tight ends, to go after Fort Worth, right? Jet Zero is a good option in short yardage, but 2nd and 9, you got to be passing the ball, I think.
Caswell, short drop, looking for Matthew Jr. And that was deflected. And that was J.L. Browning. We've not called Mr. Browning's name so far today. But that is an outstanding pass deflection there. At just the right time. Third down. Look at it bat that thing away.
Yeah, great deflect. I mean, he's coming up from behind, too. Matthews has the position on him. Really nice play from Browning at the linebacker spot. Haven't called his name a lot, but he makes a play there. Now 3rd and 9. If Fort Worth gets the ball back, the roof might blow off this play. Wait a minute, there is no roof.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Caswell under center here on 3rd and 9. 5-step drop. Here comes the pressure. Oh, he eludes.
Whoa.
Oh, he's going to run it. Making a break for the sticks. It did not quite get there, but man, that was a close call. Marquise Reed able to bring him down from behind, and it will be 4th and 4.
He turned that corner, and I thought there's no way. Caswell doesn't have the wheels of Cam Curtis, which we saw earlier. 2 quarterback runs here, teams, and Fort Worth gets the stop. This crowd is into it. If they can find their way in the end zone, they are going to be big in this one.
Punt is away. Cade Stevens again. We'll get this out to the 44. Again, very nice field position for the Toros to start. And they cannot have fewer plays on their drive than they did on their last drive when Jason, how about this? Licensed to Killiams. Took it to the house.
I like that one.
Took it to the house.
I do like that.
And we'll see what happens here. Queen City crowding that line of scrimmage. And Williams does get the call. Manages to shake one defender, shakes another. And just could not get vertical. Finally brought down at the 45. It's a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. BJ Loveless in there among others on the stop.
Yeah, he was cleaning up the Jason Spilliams.
Second and 9. Cameron Curtis in the shotgun. And he's going to throw here, stepping up in the pocket, throwing, and that is deflected. And that was Jared Crow, who got a shoulder pad on it. That's going to be 3rd and 9.
Crow has been all over the place today. He's made some tackles. He's made some deflections, almost made a couple of picks. He really at outside linebacker, you're a little surprised to see him all over the field. Kind of the definition of sideline to sideline.
Absolutely. Curtis on 3rd down over the middle.
Wow.
Looking, and that is just a hair overthrown looking for Stevens. It looked like he had the window to put that ball in there and just couldn't do it. And here comes the punt team again for Fort Worth.
That was Griffin, too, who made the tackle. I couldn't really tell if it was a defensive play or an offensive drop or misthrow. It could have been a combination of any of them. Stevens unable to come up with it, and now Queen City gets the ball back. They needed that stop. Great play from the Corsairs defense.
Absolutely. That front four coming alive again. And the secondary contributing as well. Punt is away. Spelling awaits. We'll get this upfield. He'll get it out to the 28. That's a nice punt return by SFL standards. You don't see a lot of yardage on those. I think he probably got 7 or 8 yards on that return. And now here comes Caswell, who has been outstanding, except for, as you mentioned earlier, Andy, those 2 end zone interceptions. He has a chance to atone for those here with 7:31 to play in the game. Caswell will throw it on 1st down. Has all the time. Throwing it across the field. That is deflected. Looking for spelling there. And that is Nash, Delaney Nash, the strong safety. Had 3 interceptions last year. Came very close to getting one there for today. 2nd and 10.
A little bit of a delayed route across the middle for Spelling, trying to get him open, and didn't quite work. You go back to the drawing board on 2nd and 10.
Caswell under center this time. Hand off to Jet Zero.
Oh, look
and
out.
Jet Zero's going to break a tackle. And he's roaming free down the left side. And then finally corralled near midfield. Jet Zero breaks a big run when his team needs it, and that's a fresh set of downs for the Corsairs.
Man, I tell you what, if there's one thing I don't want as a defensive back is I don't want to look Jet Zero in the eyes with a head full of steam running in the open field. I mean, that's a big boy you're asking a safety or a cornerback to bring down, and luckily for Fort Worth, they're able to make the tackle at the 49.
Bunch formation to the bottom of your screen, less than 7 minutes to play in this one. Queen City down 7. Looking to tie or maybe do a little better. And they'll deal to Jet Zero on the left side, and Zero takes a big shot. That's a brutal hit. I think that was Aiden Davis. Yes, it was. For gain of 3, 2nd and 7. That's a lot of work for 3 yards, Andy.
Yeah, Davis, known for his coverage ability, says, hey, I can hit too. And big play there on Jet Zero. Sets him up 2nd and 7.
Power I now for Queen City. 5 defensive backs on the field for the Toros. Caswell, big drop. Steps up in the pocket, down he goes. It's Joey Schwitt. I think that is his 3rd sack of the day. One more swing for the stat sheet. And he has looked outstanding so far, especially in the second half.
I tell you what, he's swinging for the fences today. I mean,
Nice.
3 in one game, that's a big play for Schwint, and it sets them up 3rd and 11. Not necessarily out of pressure here. This is in Queen City's wheelhouse. Huge play here for the momentum.
Short drop by Caswell. Looking to the right side.
Wow.
That is caught and a completion, and it's Christopher Ochoa who keeps the chains moving for Queen City.
Perfectly scripted out of the Corsairs. They have a bunch formation. They run a late corner route out of it, and it's a beautiful throw. Back shoulder, the safety can't make it up in time, and he just has to come up to make the tackle. Adam Leach does to save a big play. It moves the chains for Queen City, takes the pressure right back off of this offense.
Queen City driving once again. And 3 wide receivers on the field here. Jet Zero, nowhere to go. Jet Zero met at the line of scrimmage. And that is David Harrell, who has been everywhere for this Fort Worth defense. And he makes a play once again.
It's really been the battle of the linebackers today between Fort Worth and Queen City. Harrell, Browning, Vincent against Lovelace and Crow, and it swings back and forth.
4 wideouts back. Matthew Jr., the tight end. Caswell dealing over the middle. It is Matthew Jr. Very close to getting that line to gain. They're going to spot him short. It's 3rd and 1. A huge 3rd down here for Queen City.
And this is in Jet Zero's wheelhouse. I was just going to say, they've been running him a lot on 1st down, which sets him up for some trouble on 2nd and 3rd. Now on 3rd, you only need a single yard. This is really where you employ Jet Zero for, is a single yard. And he's going up against a 4-3. This will be tough.
How about Kim Brell checks back in for the 2nd tight end. Zero all by his lonesome in the backfield. He does get the call. He's got the 1st down. Breaks the tackle. He's loose on the right side. Inside the 10. 5. Touchdown, Jet Zero. Queen City on the verge of tying it up.
Jet Zero, Jet 6, Jet Money, Jet touchdown. Huge play. Shakes off Delaney Nash. Get off of me. Aiden Davis. Touchdown Corsairs. Check his feet. Was he in bounds? Who cares? Points for Queen City.
27 yards for Jet Zero, capping an 8-play, 69-yard drive per Stephen Hacker. And this extra point from the rookie, Dane Morrow, will tie this game at 24.
Man, and could you want anything more out of the first week of SFL action, Josh?
No, I could not. This is exactly where I want to be. The kick is up, and it is good. We are not at a 24, Andy, with 4:19 to play in regulation.
This is about as exciting as it gets. 2 teams down to the wire, both trying to go 1-0. 4:19 left in the 4th. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
Cade Stevens, who ran a kick back for a touchdown earlier in this game, awaits the offering for Dane Morrow. Kick is away. Stevens from inside his 5. Oh, and he takes a shot. Brutal hit. Queen City getting it done on special teams there. And Fort Worth will start this drive from their own 26-yard line. Cameron Curtis, who has been spotty, not really productive in the passing game, only 115 yards passing by our count. needs to get it done here. Has a chance to win the game. Does not need a touchdown, Andy.
Doesn't need a touchdown. Would have to take all 4 minutes off the clock, though.
Curtis dealing to the left side. That is caught. And there's a brutal hit. Stevens takes a massive shot from Jared Crow, but hangs onto the ball. It's a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Huge catch there for Stevens. Sets him up 2nd and short. This could be Williams, could be Alexander. Either one could get the carry here.
We'd like to welcome those of you who just saw Denver beat Jacksonville 31-23. You are coming into this game at just the right time. Queen City and Fort Worth, we are tied at 24. Time ticking away at Fort Worth with a chance to win the game. And Jason Williams coming up with a big first down here. And the clock continues to run with 3.5 minutes remaining, Andy.
Kappa Jones with the tackle there, the strong safety making the play, and both of these teams with huge opportunities here. Fort Worth to score, but also for Queen City to make a defensive play. They've sat on their shield all day on defense. Let's see if they can get another stop. 2
tight ends for Fort Worth. Pass is thrown and did not see the ball. Fort Worth defender got hit in the back with the football. And I think that was Lauren Percoco, whose name we've not called. And she gets a target of sorts, a dubious one at that. 2nd and 10.
Well, it hit her. I mean, it's a good throw if it hits you, I guess, right?
Right in the numbers, but usually they mean the numbers on the front of the jersey, not the back.
Right.
Percoco will stay in the game. It's 2nd and 10. Twin wide receivers to the top of your screen. 5 defensive backs for Queen City. Curtis with a deep drop. The deal to Williams. And he has nowhere to go. That Queen City defense suffocating him once again. A gaggle of white jerseys there will make it 3rd and 11.
And this is where the Queen City Corsairs want to be. About under 3 minutes left, 3rd and long. You're going to force Fort Worth into a throw. Your defensive line has played big all game. Watch number 94 in the middle, David Tilley. His time to shine. Another sack could be big.
Curtis, short drop. On 3rd and 11, throwing over the middle. That is caught, but he's going to be short of the marker.
Ooh.
Held on to the ball. And that was Stephen Hacker, and it's going to be 4th and inches at big decision time here for Fort Worth.
Wow, that was about as tight as it got, and it really goes back to the play before where they checked down to Williams. Williams couldn't even get a yard. Hold on, offense on the field. This is the play of the game.
They will have to snap this. They won't get to the 2-minute warning. The play clock is a second behind the game clock.
Can't burn a timeout, can you?
Not here. In a tie game? In a tie game? Oh, and he does!
Oh, man.
Cameron Curtis tried to get the jump with the hard count. Could not, and they will burn a timeout, and they may come to regret that decision, Andy Hamilton.
Yeah, well, credit to the defensive line for Queen City. Andre Krim, DJ Majesty, David Tilley do not jump. A rambunctious defensive line that's been adjusted in this offseason. Only one of them playing on the team last year. They stood up to the challenge from the veteran Cameron Curtis. They will force a punt out of Einhorn, and they take a timeout from Fort Worth in a pivotal game. They do have the 2-minute warning, but Fort Worth really trusting their defense there to be able to take that timeout.
That is a decision that will get some water cooler mileage tomorrow and over the course of the week. Punt is away, and Spelling will take a shot, and we do reach the 2-minute warning. Strap in, buckle up, settle down. Here we go. 1:56 to play here. We are knotted at 24 apiece. Queen City, Fort Worth, SFL Twitch kickoff weekend for season 17. So glad to have you with us. Josh Circle, Andy Hamilton on the call. Stephen Hacker, Rochelle Colston in the truck. Cameron Irvine, the commissioner, producing this game. And now it's all up to AJ Caswell to march his team 80 yards down the field. And that is a very strong start.
Doug Spelling again. He's done that all game today. Just found the open space and got catches.
Caswell again. Let's second down, throwing, and that is complete. Jet Zero is going to sneak out of bounds. Oh, he did not get past the sticks. That's going to be no gain. 3rd and 1, Andy.
Yeah, surprising there. That is the 4th catch for Jet Zero today. He's done decently in that. He had about 6 yards or so, but they're going to say he stepped out there. It's tough for those big guys sometimes to keep their feet. 3rd and a yard. Again, I think it's Jet Zero time right up the gut.
I agree. 1:40 left to play here in regulation. They do not go to jet zero. By ground or by air. They go to Ochoa, and Ochoa moves the chains again. That's his second big possession catch, moving the chains for Queen City here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and I think if you polled the viewers at home and everyone in this stadium, about 98% would say that that was going to jet zero. Beautiful play call by Queen City to go the opposite way, a out route to the other end of the screen, and it really caught Fort Worth off guard. It moves the chains.
1:37 to play here. Clock is stopped with Ochoa going out of bounds on the catch. Trips to the top of your screen. Caswell does not have time to throw. Down he goes. And that is a big sack. That is Jeff Duffy. Has made his presence felt, and now Queen City has to hurry up.
Against his former team.
Caswell over the middle. That is caught. A first down for Queen City. That is James Matthew Jr., and he's going to hurry the line back up.
Beautiful play from the tight end to get open. Moves the chains here to the 47.
Caswell dealing again to the middle of the field again, not giving his receivers a chance to get out of bounds. Perhaps by design. Matthew Jr. again with a catch, 2nd and 2. Less than a minute to play here. Caswell dealing quickly. Another big catch by Matthew Jr., and they are marching down the field. They're inside the 30-yard line.
James Money Matthews, keep going to him.
43 seconds remaining. Caswell in the shotgun. The pressure cannot get there. And another big catch. And Deezer Powell getting the end zone for the touchdown.
On the corner route, nonetheless, they fed that to Deezer Powell in the red zone, and it was Aiden Davis earlier in the game who made a fool of Deezer Powell by jumping in front and making the interception. They go back to it in crunch time, and this time Powell makes a fool of Davis right in front of him and is able to duck in for the score. Powell's second touchdown of the game, and it puts Queen City in front. For Fort Worth, though, you almost can't be upset because at very least you have some time to get back into this one.
39 seconds, but they will need a touchdown. And if Dane Moore has anything to say about it, and an extra point as well, just to bring about a tie. Kick is up. That extra point is good. And just like that, Queen City back on top, who had led the majority of this game. And now after an 8-play, 76-yard drive, capped with that 29-yard touchdown catch and run by Deezer Powell. Queen City back on top, 31-24.
Watch Cade Stevens here. He's broken one. Is he clutch enough to get another one down there?
Stevens from the 3. Oh, and he fumbles! Ball is loose! And Fort Worth fortunately recovers. What a scary moment there for Fort Worth. Comeback was almost finished before it started.
Jamal Martin saves that one, and lucky to fall on it there, Josh. I mean, that would have been disaster.
Absolutely. As it stands now, Fort Worth 76 yards away from tying this game. Curtis will start at his own 24, and he will throw out of the power eye, and that is deflected and incomplete. Kappa Jones, the Reaver back, which is Queen City's name for that slot defensive back, coming up with a deflection.
Yeah, they're trying to get it to Robert Garrett Jr., their most targeted receiver. He's got 5 grabs on the day for right around 60 yards, and Jones well positioned there to be in front of it and make the play. Their longest throw of the day, Josh, 30 yards to Cade Stevens. They're going to need, it looks like 2 or 3 of those, or a longer throw in order to win this football game.
And I think working the middle of the field at this point would be folly. You've got to get out of bounds. You only have 2 timeouts now. Curtis, 2nd and 10. Throwing to the middle of the field again, and that is nearly intercepted. It's Kappa Jones again coming up huge for the second straight play, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they tried to force it on the out route, but Queen City was all over that one. And the Corsairs are a couple plays away here from taking this ball game in Fort Worth territory. The underdogs have an opportunity here, and they're looking to pillage and pirate this win away from Fort Worth, but still 2 downs to go.
And 26 seconds to go. Fort Worth still working out of that power eye. Curtis dealing to the left side. That is caught.
Get out of bounds. There you go.
Robert Garrett Jr. gets out of bounds. That will stop the clock with 20 seconds remaining. Cameron Curtis, you see the numbers there. Not a tremendous volume of work, but getting it done here and getting the pass to Garrett Jr.
Yeah, laid out there from the tight end, able to shake off one, does get out of bounds, which is also helpful for this offense, and it moves them up the field into, at very least, Josh, Hail Mary range, which always is going to give them a chance here at home. So big from Robert Garrett Jr. there. You like to see it, and they need to keep the ball moving down the field. Not necessarily a huge throwing formation, though, that they're in.
No, they're still staying in this two running back set, Aaron Alexander staying on the field. Dealing over the middle, deflected, and falls right at the feet of Alexander. Nice deflection there by David Tilley, who's done it all in this game. An outstanding play there, 2nd and 10.
I think that might have been Crow. I think Tilley had the pressure there. I mean, we'll watch it back. That would have been surprising if they dropped Tilley that deep in coverage. But then again, it is week 1. Anything you got. This formation looks more passing to me. 1 tight end, 2 receivers. So we'll see.
Curtis under center. 16 seconds to play here. 3-step drop. Pressure at his feet. Dealing, and it's intercepted. Kappa Jones with another big play on this drive. And he's got room to run. 10, 5. Kappa Jones at the 2-yard line. A huge interception. And Cameron Curtis is first of the day.
First of season 17 for Cameron Curtis. He's looked good all day, has struggled a lot today to find open receivers, tries to force one to Robert Garrett Jr. on the 50Z tight end cross, and the Queen City Corsairs have walked into Fort Worth. They've put together a solid game. They fought through adversity when Fort Worth started to get back into it via a special teams touchdown return and an interception from Kappa Jones. Kappa's this game off, and Caswell is going to take a knee here at the 2-yard line to finish it off.
Outstanding. A team effort, offense and defense for Queen City. Jet Zero getting it done. David Tilley had a tremendous game. Kappa Jones, 2 passes deflected, and then the interception that he nearly took to the house. Not a pick 6. I feel like we should give him a pick 3.5 for getting so close. But as it stands, it ices the game, at least until Fort Worth runs out of timeouts. Anything could happen here in the SFL. Caswell will take another knee, and we are down to 1 second. Tomorrow on For the Fans, the battle for the Southern Division starts all over again when Mexico City faces off against Lone Star at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by Bryant Dynasty and the Atlanta Swarm versus Johnny Pickler and Pickler's London Knights debut. Bonus coverage includes San Diego Sioux Falls and St. Louis Tulsa. We are just about out of business here in Fort Worth. Caswell will take a knee, and that'll do her. Queen City, for the 2nd straight year, beats Fort Worth in week 1 of the regular season. 31-24. Andy Hamilton, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it really was a Queen City show. They came out, put 300-plus passing yards on this Fort Worth defense, which was their strength. Cade Stevens here, as you see with this big punt return, gets the Toros reignited to get some offense moving. They fight back into the game, but really, from the jump, Josh, Queen City looked like the stronger team through 4 quarters and really deserved the victory here today. A.J. Caswell, a couple of turnovers, but did have 3 touchdowns. They came in as the team on the road and really put in a lot of work. They had a lot of rookies making big plays in Doug Spelling and Cody Griffin, as well as some veterans in Deezer Powell, Andre Krim, David Tilley. This Queen City team, a lot of people are probably going to be surprised at this result, but I have to say they played really well today. For Fort Worth, they get to go back to the drawing board and try and draw up a better situation to put themselves in a chance to win. They did have a really good 3rd and 4th quarter there. The ball didn't fall their way this time, but that doesn't mean that either of these 2 teams are going to be slouches heading through the rest of season 17. Both are going to be tough teams to play for anyone. But really, it was A.J. Caswell and this receiving offense and the defense for Queen City that won them this game.
The Queen City defense did look outstanding, but A.J. Caswell who was sharp and really could have been even sharper, completed 19 of his first 20 passes of the game. And it wasn't until he threw a pair of end zone interceptions that Fort Worth was able to work their way back into the game. You mentioned the kick return touchdown from Kate Stevens. That certainly helped. And then it was that play by Kappa Jones, really epitomizing how everybody from that Queen City defense chipped in. Cody Griffin, the rookie, looked outstanding. And David Tilley, who had so many sacks in this game, I have no idea who player of the game is going to be. It is AJ Caswell, 32 of 41, 369, 3 touchdown passes, and a partridge in a pear tree. Andy Hamilton, this has been so much fun. I really appreciate it. For Cameron Irvine, our amazing stats team of Stephen Hacker and Rochelle Colston, and for Andy Hamilton, I'm Josh Circle. This has been a production of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Your final score from Fort Worth, Queen City 31, Fort Worth 24. We'll send it back to SFL Studios for analysis of what's next after these messages. Stay tuned.